Thank you for having me back. I love this stuff. Okay, I'm a barber, as I've said several times before. And in barber school, they taught us not to tell jokes in the barber shop because it denotes a lack of a culture. My question is, how many of us have ever been in a cultured barber shop? I tell jokes. And this one I happened to turn into a poem. And this is not something brand new. I've heard other people do this, but it does kind of relate. I titled it, It Happened on All Hallows Eve. A vampire bat on All Hallows Eve returned to the cave where he slept. Near dozens of others of his kind and ilk, to his place on the ceiling he crept. He had partied in town, gotten quite drunk, amazed he had found his way home. Now rest he desired and rest he required, but his friends wouldn't leave him alone. You smell of fresh blood that's mixed in with booze. What a selfish old bat you've become. Where in the world did all this occur? You must tell us. Yes, tell everyone. I only want sleep, cried the bat just returned. I will tell you my tale after that. But feeling deprived, they refused to relent, and they pestered and badgered, said Bat. All right, if I must, I will take you all there. I can see there's no rest till it's done. So saying, he led them out into the woods. Follow me, and keep up, everyone. Deep in the woods to a clearing they went, where he stopped and said, see that oak tree? I'm afraid that the truth is I simply did not, and that is what happened to me. Thank you. This next poem is a little bit longer. It's what I call a story poem. It's based on a true fact. This actually happened to me. Now, I did take a bit of a creative license, so I won't bother you with that part of it, but basically, this is a true story. A blinding winter snowstorm clogged and snow-filled roads. Cautiously, he made his way through wind, snow, and cold. Up ahead, beside the road, the trudging figure of a girl, huddled in upon herself in a bitter, snow-filled world. He simply couldn't pass her by. He stopped and she got in, dripping snow and shivering, wet and cold as sin. He asked her destination. She pointed down the way. He nodded his agreement as he slowly pulled away. Seemed she'd brought the cold inside. He turned the heat to high. She huddled tight against the door and wouldn't meet his eye. Nasty night, my lady. She nodded, and no more. He thought he heard her weeping, though he truly wasn't sure. She seemed so unresponsive, he thought he'd let her be. He checked the auto's heater, so cold he thought he'd freeze. Ahead, his turn approaching, but no shelter there she'd find. As though she sensed the coming turn, at last she met his eye. Please, not here, she murmured low. He could not but agree. To leave her in this blizzard, he knew the girl would freeze. He pushed ahead a few more miles to reach a place of light. Roadside truck stop, warm and dry, a refuge from the night. Leave me here, a whisper soft, I can walk on down. Yes, he thought, and here's a place where I can turn around. He stopped the car. She got out. Good luck, he smiled goodbye. Now go home, she murmured low. You're safe, it's passed you by. Turning around, he wondered at the message she conveyed. He thought to stop and ask her before she walked away. But she was nowhere he could see, with nowhere she might go, except the truck stop down the way, but no tracks in the snow. Perhaps, he thought, she caught a lift. Yes, that must be right, although he'd seen no other cars, no set of moving lights. Life is full of mystery, he thought, as he pulled out. There must be logic to explain, yet still he felt a doubt. Slowly through the blinding storm, he went the way he came, happy that at last the car was warming once again. He made the turn onto his road, and a few miles further on, flashing lights and ambulance. Here's something badly wrong. Why am I late? A highway cop beside the road waved the man on through. Window down, he asked the cop, is there something I could do? Nothing left to do for these, the officer replied. A head-on crash at midnight hour, and neither one survived. He eased away, mind a whirl. He thought, that should be me. Had I passed that poor girl by, this is where I'd be. Knowing struck him like a blow. His watch confirmed the time. Had I gone my usual way, that death scene would be mine. He thought about her parting words. She said, it passed me by. Death has passed because I stopped to give a girl a ride. Wonderment on wonderment, with miracles to spare. Glancing in his rearview mirror, he saw her standing there. Windy, cloudy winter sky took No, I missed. Unblew it. Pardon me, folks. There it is. Okay. Then he thought he saw her smile, but she looked so sad and lorn. A hand she lifted in farewell, then he lost her in the storm. Who she was, he'd never know. He wept as he drove away. He knew that he would think of her the remainder of his days. And that was 40 years ago, and obviously I do think of her. It was one of those things. Thank you. Thank you all.
You may be leaving for now, but the nightmares will return.